Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live. As always, my name is Josh Lilquist. And boy, I tell you what, Al, we have been dropping some hints and tips and tricks on the financial markets today. And I'm having a good time doing that. How about you?
I am also having a good time.
It's always a good time doing that and helping our investing family make smart investing decisions. In the last segment, we were talking about hunting as the sport, right? But we are also hunters in the financial markets, hunting for unfilled orders or institutional order flow to make smart investing decisions. That way we can trade like them and not against them. And I had talked about, everybody knows that you're supposed to follow the smart money, follow the banks, the institutions, but nobody really knows how. And that's why we talked about in that last segment as far as having the advantages that Peter Lynch actually exposed for us, telling us as the public, we have an advantage. And that's what we cover in those investing classes that we do right here at the Academy. We have a lot of people texting in for that today. Make sure if you missed seats for that investing class, by the way, these are free classes. They're 2 hours, and if you're new to the markets and you want to get started, or you're a seasoned investor and you're looking to have more consistency, just text the word investing to the number 210-210 for a like-minded community of traders and investors and see how the market actually functions and works. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats, or simply just go straight to our website. You can go to investwithota.com. That's investwithota.com. You can pick your own date there. We have these during the day, during the week, and on the weekends, evenings, mornings, whatever suits your schedule, we have them for you. Make sure to subscribe and like the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Investing and Trading Live on all podcast sites. So, Al, in the last segment, I want to talk about the difference between dreamers and doers. And there's a group of people out there that are consistently successful and always, we'll say, financially dependent. Okay? There's also a group of people that are financially independent, right? So you have dreamers and doers. And really the difference is you have people that dream, which is not a bad thing. You're always told to dream and dream big. But if you just dream and continue to dream and you don't do, that's all it does. Right. And you've had a lot of people that have came to the Academy that have big dreams. They want to have a certain financial future. And there's different things that they want. And it's not always just monetary. Maybe it's freedom of time or flexibility of time. They want to go spend time with their families that they don't live in the same state, or want to do things more with their kids that are in sports and stuff, but they're stuck to a job, which they have to go to every day. So you've helped people build a plan for doing. Now, taking action is that first thing. That's obviously the investing class. But then you've helped people with a step-by-step process to be comfortable, but also confident into getting in these markets with confidence. So what are some of the steps that you might put in place to help somebody get motivated and going to where they want to be?
Well, one of the things, Josh, is to talk about what the potential benefits are available in the market, and they're substantial, and they're available to everybody. That's one of the things we want people to know. The markets are open to anyone. It doesn't make any difference really how old you are, how smart you are, what your background is. It doesn't make any difference. Anybody can participate in these markets, which is a great thing. It's also a bad thing. You talked about dreamers and doers. The first thing you need to do is dream. And we encourage people to have lofty goals. Use your imagination. I think the only real limitation that people put on themselves is the limits of their imagination. Mm-hmm. So imagine what you want your life to look like. What are your financial goals, your financial dream for yourself in the future? Then we can help you decide what you do to get there. And it's going to be different for different people. But understand, you have power over your own mind. It's not, you don't have power over outside events, but you have power over your own mind. When you realize that and take advantage of it, that's where you find your strength. And that's what we try to do, is help you put together a plan that's specific to you, that identifies your dreams, and then let's figure out the do part of it, how to become a doer. You mentioned that some people are dreamers and some people are doers. Here's the breakdown. About 5% of the people in the country are doers. Yeah. And about 95% either are dreamers or they don't dream at all. Mm-hmm. And why? So how could there be such a difference? How come 5 people can be successful? Well, there are things that they do that we try to emulate. We try to put that together in our education process, the path that we have people follow. Number one, they're willing to, and here's that R word again, but they're willing to take some risk, because without risk, what is there not available? It's reward.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be willing to take some risk, but one of the things that we have, it's a goal, a ratio that we have, is the reward to risk ratio. We show you how to manage risk so you can still participate in the big rewards, and that's the most important thing. That's how you develop confidence too, is to be able to do this in a way where you know if you are wrong, and everybody in this world is going to be wrong at some point in time, but the people that
wait a
succeed,
minute. I don't know if I've ever been wrong with anything, Al. You know
well,
that.
I'll put together a list for next week's show. Okay?
Oh, you ever seen those scrolls that people open up and there's a long piece of paper?
Next week's show will be a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. The goal again is to just to minimize that risk. Know that you're not going to be right all the time, but if you're not right, what do? You get out of that position and get into something that has a better chance of you being right. It's reward over risk. That's the important thing. But use your imagination. Dream big. Don't let other people tell you how you have to live your life. And that's, I think, a lot of people end up just accepting mediocrity because they let people kind of hold them down.
Yeah.
And that's, unfortunately, that's your fault. Don't let people do that.
Yeah,
So,
you're right, yeah.
yeah, and one of the things that we're seeing, Josh, is what has people put into something that gives them the ability to be mediocre, to be average. And that's really what Wall Street is telling them to do with their money. And that's put them into a buy and hold strategy. Excuse me. We talk about this every week. And what I'm seeing now in a lot of the emails that I'm getting, a lot of articles I'm reading, is that advisors are now saying, now is the time to think long term when investing. Why would they say that? Well, they say that because they know we're going to go through periods of time like we did in 2023, like we did part of this year, where the market's going to be down. And what are they going to tell you? They'll tell you, don't worry about those time periods.
Keep it for the long haul.
You're in it for the long term. And you know what they call an unsuccessful short-term trade?
A long-term trade?
A long-term investment.
Long-term investment.
So what they're doing is they're telling you to put your money in something that has unquestionable unknown risk and questionable unknown reward.
Well, it's a plan for no gain or loss. It's just a plan just to be in a position.
Just be in the market, and they'll tell you have to be in the market or you miss the big days.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in the market all the time, you're also going to be in for the big down days.
Mm-hmm.
So we would rather have you be, make some choices. Be selective about the investments that you make, and be in when you have the opportunity for the bigger moves. Be out when the opposite is going to happen. And is that possible? If you use the right strategy that identifies where those unfilled orders we talked about, where are the big players going to, if you want to call it manipulation, where are they going to move the market?
Correct.
Where are they going to move it up? Where are they going to move it down?
Yep, and it's really not your fault. You're trained from a young age to do things that way. And so we're not saying you're a bad person. It's just you're trained from a young age to do all that stuff a certain way. School systems teach people to be workers, not creators. And you've helped a lot of people get past that hump. And you're noticing there's only one common thing there that everybody has. And we talked about this, I believe it was in the second segment today. And it's just that 4-letter F word, and it's fear. People have the fear of the unknown. Well, if you have the fear of the unknown, why would you get in a position with no plan of gain or loss? That's a buy and hope strategy, which is a buy and hold. So we have people that want to be able to have a better life, whether it's time or capital, whatever that may be, spending time with families. But people don't want to be poor. But if they're brought up poor, that's all they know. And poor isn't always a monetary thing. It's just passing over opportunities regularly. That's POOR, passing over opportunities regularly. So we're seeing people want to change that cycle. People want to be able to leave a legacy for their family or leave something for their kids. Usually it's their grandkids, or it's that family. And they want to be that person. Then they say, hey, I want to stop this cycle. I want to be able to create something for my family so when my kids get older, they don't have to go through the things that I had to do. I think we all know that, right? And our parents, a lot of So if that's that goal or if that's that plan, you might want to see what's available out there and maybe do things a little bit differently. And we have these investing classes that we talk about all the time. We have had a lot of people text in today for this investing class to start making smart investing decisions, whether you're looking for as an income stream strategy or a wealth strategy, which would be for your 401ks and IRAs, or maybe leaving that legacy at one point for that family, and whatever that may be. Maybe it's just time. So text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for that class, or simply go to investwithota.com. Al, we've had a great show. Now, you a lot of tips and tricks. Let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, if you have financial problems, issues, or worries, they're not going to go away on their own. Things don't just get better on their own. Now is not a time to hide and hope things get better. Waiting for the perfect time simply assures the fact that you're not going to change things. There's always an opportunity. We're seeing these almost daily. But now it means doing something different, maybe. And remember, you can't achieve a higher level of anything behaving as the person who got you to where you are right now. Try new things. It's hard to make changes when you stay within the limits of what you already know.
I think I said this in the first segment. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Let's get started today and start thinking that you can. Text the word investing to the number 210 to get started with a free investing class, or simply go to investwithota.com. And make sure to subscribe and like the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.